Welcome to the Paddle Like a Girl podcast. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Paddle Like a Girl podcast. Today we have Brittany Richards. Brittany is the co-founder of Freak of Nature Co., an outdoor-inspired brand where adventure meets artistry. Based in Pembroke, Ontario, Brittany is not only a passionate angler, paddler, and camper, but also a highly skilled craftswoman who creates handcrafted leather goods designed for outdoor enthusiasts. Each piece she makes reflects her deep appreciation for quality, durability, and the timeless beauty of traditional craftsmanship. Beyond her creative work, Brittany, alongside her husband Tunis, has built Freak of Nature Co. into a thriving brand while balancing her adventurous lifestyle and a demanding career as a paramedic. Her ability to juggle these roles speaks to her resilience, passion, and dedication to both her craft and the wild spaces she loves. Welcome, Brittany. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. Geez, you've described that whole scene of what I do so beautifully.
Well, I really admire your stuff. Like, honestly, just like everything you do, even just, I'm watching from afar on social media, but your leather work is absolutely incredible. The just like the photos of your leather work is amazing, the videos, and then on top of that, all of your outdoor content too is just so beautifully done. So I admire you and all of the things that you share and are doing. So I'm really excited to
Thank
chat with
you
you.
so much. I appreciate that. Coming from you especially, because obviously I've been following you for a long time. So
We're mutual fans, I guess, of each other. So, and then I was so excited to see you at the Hamilton Adventure Expo, which your booth also looked amazing.
thank you. I stressed very much about it, so I'm happy it turned out the way it did.
Turned out really, really well. I was like so impressed. It just looked, was that your first show?
It was my first ever show. Like I have done nothing. It was super awesome to
Wow.
finally show my products in person instead of through social media or yeah, I guess
Right.
just through pictures. That was
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome.
Cause like you don't have a storefront. You're selling everything online, right?
Yeah, everything's online.
It must have been nice to have a makeshift storefront that you can really display and showcase
Yeah.
your art.
It was nerve-wracking because again, like a picture is so different than like the product in person. So like just to see people's real live expressions and like reactions to my products was kind of a little worrisome at first because I wasn't sure how they were going to react, but
Right.
it was all very positive, so it's a
Oh,
lot of
I
fun.
bet. Oh, that's so awesome. And it went well. Did you sell a lot of stuff?
It went really well. It went
Oh,
better
good.
than I could have predicted. So
That's so
very
awesome.
satisfied.
Are you aiming to do next year's as well? Oh,
100%.
good.
I
Okay.
think I'm going to start like this might be like my annual show
Okay.
as like a big show, and then I might just do like really small local craft shows for like like Christmas time or like the summertime. There's always a few like vendor shows in my area, so I might just do like little ones, and then Hamilton show be like the big one.
Cool. I know. I feel like it sparked this bug.
I mean, I've been wanting to do it forever, so it was,
There you
I
go.
don't know, it's amazing to finally get there.
That's awesome. And then I think next year is going to be like kind of two and a half days or something like that.
Yeah, it
So
sounds like they're ramping things up a lot. I mean,
yeah.
rightfully so. It seemed pretty successful on like our side of it, so
Yeah, yeah, it was great. I had a lot of fun. Anyway, so I'm excited to chat about Freak of Nature Co. and like all your leather goods that you're making. They're so impressive. Can you share the story behind your business and what was the inspiration behind the name and the logo?
yeah, sure. So me and Toon's my husband. We dabble in a lot of outdoor activities, and we've always enjoyed like videography and photography, and we kind of just wanted to like somehow group it together. So we were really into hunting. Tunis still is. I'm not as much, but we used to hunt quite a bit when we first got together, and we always kind of hated the fact that like after you kill something, the hide just goes to waste. So we're like, let's keep the hides, tan them, and then make some products out of it. So we thought we could just kind of like use the entire animal, but we went like 2 3 years without actually killing anything. So there went the idea of tanning our own stuff, and I was getting impatient because I really wanted to get to like the crafting part. I've always been super crafty, so I just wanted to do something. Tunis was really wanting to do something with the whole animal. But then since we didn't actually kill anything for a few years, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy leather, start practicing, so then when you actually do kill something and we can make something with a hide, like I'll be ready. It's not gonna go to waste. But hunting kind of took a back seat, and then a different avenue of the outdoors kind of took over, which is the camping, the backcountry canoeing. So I guess Freak of Nature Co. we just wanted to find something, like the name itself, we wanted to find a title that represented us, that didn't pigeonhole us into a certain avenue. So
Hmm.
we've been, I remember bickering back and forth to try to figure out like what to call ourselves. And I'm pretty sure I thought of the name. Tunis might say something differently. He might say he was the one
Okay.
that thought of it, but I'm pretty sure he didn't like it when I first mentioned it. But then that's just the name we decided to go with. And I was like, you know what? That way we can do whatever we want that's outdoor related, and people won't be like, that's not what her name says. It's supposed like she's doing something that's not their
Right.
name.
Yeah.
So we went with that. We got our designer, and I was like, no, we need a logo or a mascot or something. And it was like a fluke decision. I was like, no, let's just add Bigfoot, because what better representation of a freak of nature than Bigfoot?
Totally.
So we just took it, ran with it, and decided to kind of encompass our leather products in the outdoor realm. So like everything I do is either has some design with like something nature like, or is made for someone to take in the backcountry or camping or in whatever adventure they're on. I feel like that was a really complicated answer for a very simple
No,
question.
I don't think it was complicated at all because there's so many layers to it. Like
Yeah.
I didn't realize that your like kind of outdoor adventure side of things started with hunting. So hunting was kind of the catalyst, I guess, to camping and stuff.
Hmm. And like I remember we wanted to start a YouTube. Like again, Tunis has always been very passionate about like the YouTube. Like he watches it all the time. I'm not so
Yeah,
much of a watcher, but I love to contribute to it.
sure.
But he really wanted to start a channel on something, and we're like, oh well, like hunting. We both love hunting, but it is so flippin' hard to film yourself hunting because you're trying to be stealthy and quiet, and
Totally.
hauling all this camera gear just it doesn't make sense when you're trying to not be noticed.
Right.
So that kind of fell short,
Hmm.
and we figured we should maybe start a new hobby, something we've never tried before.
Hmm.
And we are both outdoorsy people, but we both never did like the backcountry style of like camping or whatever. So we just decided that let's try this. Let's try
Hmm.
backcountry paddling. And then that kind of became a new thing for us.
Yeah.
And then after that, the leather working came. So it just kind of like evolved slowly into kind of what it is today,
Yeah.
which is still a jumble of everything. So I don't know. We're not
Yeah.
pigeonholed, but we're all over the place with what we do.
Well, I think it's great because I mean the reality is of course you do many things in your life, right? So when
Mhm.
you're trying to kind of showcase what you do, that's similar to me when I came up with Tori Goes Outside. I was like, well, I don't want to be like Tori's Adventures because sometimes it's like not an adventure. I'm just outside. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's nice to keep it broad and set the expectations appropriately. It's like it has to do with nature, whatever
Yes.
level that is, right?
Yeah.
And I
Exactly.
feel like your leather work ties in perfectly to it because it's so beautiful and it's sustainably made, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And like we're still trying to figure out that like tie between the two, because it's just tricky to like right now we have a lot of socials on the go, which again probably too many for what we need. We have two YouTube channels, two separate Instagram accounts, and one's outdoor, one is leather. But my
Hmm.
leather channel, the people that follow me are leather workers,
Hmm.
and those are not the people that are interested in buying my products or anything. Those are people that
Mm,
are looking for tips and like, where did I buy this leather? Where did I get this tool? So I'm trying to like merge both audiences, and I'm finding that super tricky. It's
right.
been like my biggest struggle when it
Yeah.
comes to like blending, I guess, our
Yeah.
worlds.
It's so hard with the algorithms and like
Oh yeah.
yeah. But I mean I just clicked on one of your videos yesterday because I'm trying to like get more information and I'm watching it. I was just like I couldn't look away. It was so everything about it is just so like beautifully filmed. The leather work that you're doing is so beautiful and it's just like I was like sucked right into it. So I'm not surprised that your stuff is doing so well. But yeah, I guess it's transitioning it from the leather workers to people who are going to buy your stuff
Yeah.
is the
Yes. From
challenge. Yeah,
like entertainment to sales. Like I
right.
love that people love watching my videos, but
Hmm.
I would also love for those people to want to buy something from my videos, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Not to sound too desperate or anything, but
No, but of
it's the
course, you want
goal.
to
It
get
is
your
the
work
goal.
out there. Yeah, yeah. Well, cool. I like to learn a bit more about it because I've followed you both for so long and like I never really knew the history behind it and so that it all makes sense to me that you're just trying to like broad strokes like cover kind of everything you do in the outdoors. So
Hmm.
And so you weren't into leather making before this. It wasn't like a thing you were doing and then you were
No.
hunting and
No, absolutely
okay.
not. Like I've always been a very crafty person.
Okay.
Like my parents joke and they call me the Martha Stewart of the family because like
Oh.
I've dabbled in so much. Like I've done quilts, I've done crochet, I cook, I
Mhm.
tinker with crafts or whatever. So I call leatherworking kind of like adult craft work.
Mhm.
Just because like I'm still getting to express my creative side, but it's for
Totally.
a better purpose. So yeah, it just kind of jives perfectly with what I've always liked to do.
Okay. That makes sense because I mean, I'm like, you're obviously an artist based on the embroideries and things like that. I don't know if you would call it embroideries on the leather, but the artwork that you
Stamping and
put
tooling, yeah.
on, what's it called?
Stamping and tooling or carving, like
Okay.
different steps to
Stamping
it,
tool.
different
Okay.
names. But I definitely like I'm artistic in a sense that like I think I could envision something nice, but I'm
Okay.
not an artistic in the sense of like I can't draw. Like my designs are so like I need to like pick like inspiration from other pictures and then I make my own design. But like I cannot
Okay.
draw. Like a taller can draw better than me.
Huh. Okay, because I mean, it to me it looks like you're just like totally freehanding all these
Oh no,
things.
the power of editing. No, I have a lot of people like when I do customs, they'll like, for example, I've had someone ask me to do a belt with like their family farm and like the landscape and stuff. So he sent me a bunch of pictures of like the farmstead, the
Mhm.
farmhouse, the fields, and I kind of just like took those pictures and I would do like outlines and kind of like
Mhm.
duplicate it in a sense that I could translate it to the leather. So
Got
like I
you.
grab a lot of inspiration from other pictures to make my design.
Well, there's definitely still a lot of artistic ability there because if I were to try to do that, it would not it would not look like that. So,
It did not always look like that, that's for sure. Took me a while.
so what would you say has been like your biggest challenge in learning leather work and growing the business?
Honestly, the fact that like nobody does it. I had to learn everything through YouTube, which is fantastic because like that's kind of where my lifestyle is right now is like I do a lot of YouTube and I learn a lot from YouTube. So
Hmm.
there was no like classes to teach me how to do anything. There's no leather store or like craft stores where I live. I live in a small town, so like it's unheard of here. So I
Yeah.
have to like outsource everything. I just ask everyone on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube like I need to know like where they learned how to do this or other YouTube channels that they learned their stuff from because I'm trying to learn. So I
Right.
found that was like the trickiest part is just self-learning.
Got you.
And then like not
Okay.
only self-learning the leather stuff, but self-learning e-commerce and marketing and everything. Like it has been so much that I
Yeah.
didn't realize was going to be part of this.
Totally. It's like you just want to make leather, but then you need to also be, know financing and or like, finances and all
Yeah.
of that behind the scenes business stuff. And you're like, I just want to make art. So just kind of like understanding the ins and outs of being a small business, I guess you would say. And then
Yeah.
um I mean, maybe it's good that there aren't a ton of other people doing it cuz
Definitely like
you
not
kind of
locally, which is nice because like I do get a lot of like local requests
yeah,
because I'm the only person around. But
right.
I don't know. I guess even in Canada, I find like it is a huge thing in the States, but not so much in Canada. So I
Mhm.
guess I do have a one up in that sense, and it is also a dominantly male craft.
Okay, I was going to ask. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I mean, not to say girls don't do it, and it's not like known that girls do it, but it is very dominant for guys to be doing it compared to
For
girls.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask like have you all the YouTube videos and stuff, have you come across any other women that are doing it?
Yeah, I have. There definitely
You
is
have.
a few, and they like
Okay.
their niches are very like they make purses or like they tool,
Gotcha.
but still like on purses or
Yeah.
wallets or like more girl-like items. Where I
Yeah.
feel like I might be unique in a sense that I still make like knife sheaths and axe sheaths, stuff that like guys tend to do more.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What's your favorite thing to make?
I like love and hate this question because there's not like a specific thing that I like to make more.
Okay.
It's more the project allows me to do like it's a step I guess I enjoy the most. I love tooling. So the patterns I put on the leather, that's my favorite part. So if I have a
Okay.
project that allows me to make like a big like I have a big canvas to work with, that would be my favorite. So like
Okay.
I guess gunslings or guitar straps because I have so much room to work with are like my
Yeah.
favorite part.
Oh, that's cool.
Mhm.
And do you prefer receiving requests that are like they want you to totally be creative and put whatever you want on there, or would you prefer to make someone's vision come to life?
In an ideal world, I would want people to request like my designs. I
Okay.
love making customs, like don't get me wrong, but like every custom takes so much time because it is completely from scratch. I'm taking like a new design, a new pattern. So like
Hmm.
I'm working for days on one custom where if it was my own design, I get to be as creative as I want with like my vision,
Yeah.
and I could duplicate and make it quicker because I've done
Okay.
it. And like I get some pretty weird requests sometimes. And if I don't feel passionate about it, then I feel like it shows in my work and I don't want to give
Got you.
like subpar projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
That
just
makes
really want to be
sense.
passionate about the project if I'm going to do a good job. So the custom could be super awesome if it's something that like is exactly my style and like I'll be super ecstatic to do it. But if
Yeah.
it's a custom that has, I don't know, maybe not so like nature related stuff, then I'm not as passionate about doing it.
Yeah. That totally makes sense.
Mhm.
The drive and the motivation just isn't quite there
Yeah. And I've
for
been
those
learning to
pieces.
like another hard part of this like the business owner side is saying no. I used to say yes to everything because like I wanted the
Hmm.
business, I wanted the challenge, but now I'm like, you know what? It's kind of like outside of my like skill set or scope. So
Right.
like I'm just gonna like respectfully decline to make this
Yeah.
custom. And people
Yeah.
usually understand.
It is hard. It's really hard to not just people please, really,
Yeah, yeah,
especially when it comes to business. You have to make the choice that makes the most sense for you and your business. And so that's pretty hard to do. So good for
yeah.
you.
It's not easy.
So you're also a paramedic. And so what is your schedule like with that? And how do you blend it with leather making and then, of course, your outdoor adventures?
That's a tricky one. So I'm a full time paramedic, but I don't have a set schedule. My
Okay.
husband is a full time paramedic, but he has a set schedule.
Okay.
So as a casual employee, which is technically what I am, even if I'm working full time, I have the liberty of making my own schedule. And
Okay.
then they assign me shifts to what like I put myself available for. So
Got
I'm
you.
really lucky in that aspect where I pretty much just mimic my husband's schedule. So we have the same
Mm-hmm.
days off, which is really
Mm-hmm.
important for us because Tunis is my videographer, my editor. He's the one that kind of is behind the camera all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the quality of our videos are definitely not the same if I'm doing it on my own. So it's
Okay.
really important that we try to jive our schedules together to be able to do what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So tricky, especially so recently. We're gonna start this. I'm gonna go in deep. um,
Okay.
for the last year, our schedules have been like super hard to manage
Okay.
for multiple reasons. Last year, I was recently, and I'm air quoting this, diagnosed with unexplained infertility.
Huh.
And I say air quotes because I don't believe the diagnosis. Like, there's got to be a
Okay.
reason for it. They
Right.
just haven't
Right.
figured out why, because like all my testing and stuff has been very like normal.
Okay.
And on a positive side, Tunis has also been doing a career switch. So with that, our schedules have been crazy because I don't think, again, I don't know how aware people are with like what you have to do when you're going through infertility treatments and testing. You live, sorry, I'm just gonna ramble now.
No, please do. Yeah, because I don't think it's something that it's a thing that not a lot of people talk about, and I think it's people are very unaware of what's
Yeah.
involved. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So we've been trying to conceive for 2 years now. First year was kind of just like on our own. We didn't really like investigate more. We're just like, oh, it's taking
Mm-hmm.
longer than more people. Whatever, it's fine. After a year though, we decided to get like, I don't know, tests to figure out why it is taking so long.
Mm-hmm.
And during that entire year, so this past year, I have to go away for very scheduled ultrasounds, blood work, and like I have to take medications and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I am bound to my cycle. So for
Right.
2 times in 1 month, I have to drive all the way to Ottawa. And
Wow.
then I need to be in town to be able to get blood work a few weeks later. So that's really like condensed our schedules to the point where
Mm-hmm.
like I don't remember when we've had like a free day because
Mm-hmm.
either I'm working, he's working, or we're going to do some treatment, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
just miserable because I'm in this
Yeah.
treatment. Like it's just
Yeah.
been kind of a crazy roller coaster ride when it comes to scheduling, for one.
Yeah. First of all, I'm really sorry to hear that. I do know a couple of people who have been through it. And just from what they've shared with me, I know it's extremely challenging emotionally, physically. Just, yeah, like the demands on your schedule, you are bound to your cycle and the appointments and the medication. And I'm sure it takes a toll on you physically and emotionally,
Oh
like
yeah.
aside from aside from kind of the obvious reasons, but also from my understanding, the medication also affects hormones
Mhm.
and all of that. So,
Yeah. And like that's kind of the major thing that's I'm not gonna say wrong with me, but like it is all bound to hormonal imbalance. So like not
okay.
only have we been like juggling this scheduling act, but
Mm-hmm.
if like some people listening to this know who I am and have been following me for like the last whoever how long, I've been a little more quiet on social media. And reasons behind that is again because we're just so like time bound.
Mm-hmm.
And we've so one thing that really stuck with me with that one of my doctors told me was stress is one of like the biggest factors on
Mm-hmm.
hormone imbalances.
Yeah.
So she was trying to tell me that like if you can manage your stress levels, it is like the best thing you can do for your body. And she kind of described it as two different kinds of stress, which kind of resonated a lot with me. One is like the external factor, like having a test that you need to do. Like there's no choice about
Mm-hmm.
this test is coming no matter what. So
Mm-hmm.
that is an external stress. The secondary stress is how you deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So she says the way she kind of described my life is like I do have a very stressful life because of my job, for one. I'm a paramedic, so I see like horrible things a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband's a paramedic, so I'm always thinking about him. We have a business. Like there's just a lot of little factors that makes our life very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I feel like I'm managing that stress really well, it's still there. So
Mm-hmm.
what we've been trying to do is kind of focus on reducing the external things that we can control, which one was social media. I love doing social media, but it does cause a lot of stress. Like you would know
Mm-hmm.
you manage a couple accounts, so like as much as you enjoy doing it, you still feel like you're bound by time frames and trying to like please your audience and
Mm-hmm.
just be there for people, which causes stress even if it's like good stress, it's still stress.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I've just been trying to like reduce things, which is unfortunately social media was one of those things I kind of just had to like cut a little loose from my schedule just because it was something I
Mm-hmm.
could control. Can't really control my job because I need to pay my mortgage
Mm-hmm.
and social media is not doing that for me. And there was just lots of little things I guess that I've been trying to like dive into with my life that like I guess we've been on a journey of self-improvement. Like I've cut out alcohol, I've cut out
Mm-hmm.
coffee, I carbs almost like anything that could increase stress or cortisol levels. I've just been
Mm-hmm.
trying to like remove. So this
Yeah.
past year has just been a lot of like focusing on myself, prioritizing stuff, which has just kind of made it really hard to do everything I want to do, which
Mm-hmm.
includes outdoor adventures and promoting my business, doing social media, all the stuff that I was used
Yeah.
to doing before.
Right. Oh, geez. Yeah, I certainly can't I couldn't put myself in your position. Like I feel for you and I empathize. The only thing that I can compare like the stress to would be like when we were going through testing for Wesley,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's one of those things where you feel like you're handling it okay emotionally, like you're
Yeah.
externally like you can present okay, and you're like
Yes.
I'm okay, but then your body is doing all these weird things. You're like, why is this happening? Why am I getting this and that? And you
Mm-hmm.
just don't realize how much stress really affects you.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Like we're our biggest like we're good at hiding it, I think, as like a person.
Yeah.
Where like people from the outside look at the situation and they're like, wow, that is very stressful. But if
Uh-huh.
you can manage it, people think less like, oh, maybe it's not so bad because she looks okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's always hard to put yourself in someone's shoes when it comes to stuff
A
like
hundred
that.
percent. And also, like you said, with social media, like it's so hard, like to really understand what people are going through. It just social media is so curated, and
Yeah.
so people are assuming, well, they've everything's perfect for them,
Hmm.
but really, and then so to feel like you need to show up for everyone and be like putting on this show, really,
Yeah.
when you're not necessarily doing well emotionally, it's like it's not worth it. So good for you for like knowing when to step back.
Yeah. Which was really tough because like no one wants to like admit that they're struggling or like maybe overwhelmed. So
Hmm.
like taking that step back kind of was hard at first, but now it's kind of like I'm realizing how healthy it was for us to do.
Yeah.
And it also
Yeah.
like in like a completely not as a person putting out content, like as just like someone who's receiving content, being on social media when you're googling why am I infertile or like why is this happening to me, like the algorithm catches on. So as you're
Oh
like
yeah.
scrolling through reels and stuff, like all it is like 4 steps on how to get pregnant or like 10 reasons
Yeah.
why you're not getting pregnant. So it's like, you know what, I have to just put my phone away, get
Totally.
away from it,
Yeah.
and focus on myself, focus on what I enjoy doing before I was overwhelmed with all the other stuff.
Yeah. And so you said like you're pretty open with it, like everyone close to you is aware. Do you find um do you find that people are often giving you advice? Like, oh, have you tried this and have you tried
All
that?
the time. All
Okay.
the
Yeah.
time.
I bet.
The worst piece of advice that I've gotten multiple times is like, you know what, you just need to relax. It's fine. Just
Mm.
relax and you know what, it'll
Yeah, just
happen.
relax. Easy to
I'm like,
say.
I've been relaxing forever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't work, I promise.
Oh my goodness. So I guess my question to you would be for somebody who knows somebody or has someone close to them who's struggling with the same thing, what would you tell them as far as supporting that person?
I think just to listen, because
Hmm.
like that's probably what's been the most helpful for me is like I'm a person that needs to talk about it. If I keep it
Hmm.
bottled up to myself, then I know like that's when I start to break apart. So
Hmm.
talking about it and having people just like listening to me and not again trying to give as much advice or like
Yeah.
I don't know, because when I tell people they want to comfort me in a way and usually they tell me a story of someone else they know that like they've been trying for 4 years and you know what they went through blah 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 treatment and then they got pregnant naturally and I'm like that's fantastic, like I love hearing those stories. So like I
Hmm.
think by me like talking to people and then hearing positive feedback, it just helps. So I think
Okay.
advice I can give to someone who's been in a situation where someone just told them they're going through what I'm going through is just listen. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of something better to say than that, but
No, I think that's great because I think everyone's initial go-to and with all good intentions, I'm sure, is like,
100%. Yeah.
well, I knew someone and they did this and this worked and that,
Yeah.
and so they're like, I want to help, but the reality is like, listen, I'm already speaking with professionals, like we've already got our
Yeah.
plan.
Trust me, I know everything you're going to tell me.
Yeah, like I've heard it before. So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Just listen, just
Listen, or you know what, even just acknowledge how much it sucks. Like people
right.
just try to cherry coat it, like, oh, you know what, it's fine. It's like you're healthy, you're fine, you're gonna get pregnant. Just be like, you know what, that freaking sucks. Like I'm
Yeah.
sorry you're going through that. Like
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
done. Like
Yeah, pretty simple, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so hard. But I think it is really important to talk about it when you feel like you can, because there are people who are going through it and don't have any support or feel really alone. And so,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for sharing that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. I know we went a little off topic there, but thank you for listening.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, no, I mean the whole purpose behind this podcast was like selfishly I wanted to talk to people that I want to learn more about.
Mm-hmm.
You were at the top of my list, and just like people who inspire me and who in turn I think would inspire other people. And the reality is these inspirational people who are doing really cool things, that they are going through their own struggles as well, and so
Mm-hmm.
it humanizes everyone, and like I feel like connects us all too a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so I don't intend for it to be only about outdoor adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want it to be about like the whole person and their struggles and triumphs and all that.
Yeah.
So
I like
um
that.
yeah, I think it's important to share.
Kind of seeing people without the rose tinted
Y-
glasses or whatever that expression is.
yeah.
Like get the
Yeah,
real
exactly.
behind the scene of the account of that person. Because like even like I get friends from high school like commenting like, oh, like you seem to live such a like an adventurous life and da da da. Like
Uh-huh.
you're always out doing something, and I'm like, nah, I'm just posting the same trip like 5 times
Right.
that
Yeah.
week. Like it's not that
Yeah,
I'm
like
doing something all the time.
right. It's all about just when we're posting it.
Yeah. So
But
true.
even like like one thing that I like a major thing in my life is Wesley and his diagnosis, and like
Hmm.
nobody ever asks me about it, right? I'm like, I would love to talk about it more, but
And probably because
so
people don't know how to approach it.
totally
Right?
right,
They just like they
exactly.
don't want to
So
insult you or they don't want to I don't know say like, put their foot in their mouth. Like I don't know.
yeah, exactly, right? So when you brought this up, I'm just like, this is, I'm sure, I don't know if it's something that you necessarily are like really dying to talk about with everyone, but it's a major thing that's going on in your
Mm.
life. And why not
Yeah.
be able to talk to somebody about it? So,
No, and it's like I've never made it known on social media. Like my
yeah,
close friends and coworkers know, but like it's not something I go out telling everyone because
sure.
I don't know. Again, on social media, you want to be this happy, optimistic person all the time,
Yeah.
and I mean, I guess it might be nice to show the true colors sometimes, but
Hmm.
it's hard because you don't want to be vulnerable in front of whatever audience.
Well, I'm sure that people will reach out to you and, um, you know, to connect on this. So
Yeah,
thank you for
speaking
sharing.
of you, you're welcome. Thanks for listening again.
Have you been able to, like, I know you just expressed that your schedule has been extremely busy, but have you
Mhm.
been able to get outside even if just for like a couple hours in the afternoon to reconnect?
Yeah, absolutely. And like that's actually one thing that's been nice about this kind of fortunate circumstances that we're going through is we've kind of like dialed it back and now we're just doing it for ourselves. So like we'll
Nice.
still go out on a day trip, make a fire, don't take our phones with us, just enjoy our company, enjoy the nature instead of I don't know, making it a job. It almost felt
Yeah.
like it was a job before, but now we're kind of going back to like we just enjoy being outside, we enjoy going fishing, we enjoy each other's company. So let's just focus on that for now. So we definitely have continued doing things. It's just in private for now, anyways. Like it's not gonna always be like that, but for now,
Yeah. And you two seem to make just like such a good team too. Have you felt like your relationship has just grown stronger through all of this?
I think so. Like, actually, it's funny, and I'm sure you probably have. Actually, I've seen clips of you guys, so like I know you've definitely had similar scenarios as me and Toon. But sometimes real life without cameras or whatever, me and Toon will bicker, and I'll be like, "Did you hear the way you said that to me? Like that tone, blah blah blah." We're back and forth, and then we're on a trip and we're filming each other, and then Tunis is going through the footage, and I hear him giggling in like the other room, and I'll come in, and I'm like, "What are you laughing at?" He's like, "My tone." I'm like, "Yeah, I told you, like you have tone sometimes." So I think in that aspect, he's definitely like realized. And it's not just him. Like I'm obviously like barking back at him sometimes too. So like we've noticed on camera now that like okay, we didn't say that nicely. So we watch we watch
There,
that now.
there's evidence.
Yes, yes.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, Jim, can you cut that out? Like, I sound way too snarky.
Yeah. Which is funny though, because like I don't know, I like seeing you guys bicker on some. I remember there was one. What was it? You guys were doing the poll. I don't know. It's called polling,
Oh, yeah, polling. Yeah, yeah.
and I know you guys had some like bickering going on. I thought it was just hilarious because it's just so relatable.
Yeah. I mean, everyone goes through it, right? Especially when you're like, especially if you're tandem paddling, right?
Yeah.
You're bound to get into some sort of argument.
Me and Tunis actually ended up working as full-time partners for 6 months, like as paramedics. So
Okay.
we were together for 24 hours, 7 days a week. It was a lot. Like
I bet.
we had a lot of fun, but we also had enough of each other.
Hmm.
Tunis will say it was like rainbows and butterflies the entire time, but I'm the one that's like, nah, never again. We cannot work together again. So much time
Oh
spent
my
together.
goodness.
Mhm.
That's so cute. Um, yeah, I mean, I've only met you in person, well, twice now. We went
Mhm.
camping for that big group,
Yes.
random group camp,
Yeah.
which was a bit of an adventure with all the slush.
Yes,
And then, of
especially
course, at
one.
Hamilton Adventure Expo. And I don't know, I love like seeing you two supporting each other online with the Mr. and Mrs. Freak of
Mm.
Nature Co. And yeah, you just seem to make such a good team with, like, of course, obviously the artwork that you're making. And then Tunis is obviously extremely talented with the filming and editing of
Mhm.
the videos.
Yeah. Well, he is.
Yeah, I love it's just so beautiful to watch.
It's nice that he's really passionate about that stuff because, like, I don't like doing the editing or
Okay.
like whatever on that side of social media. Like, I'm so happy he loves doing it because it just wipe my hands clean. His problem, not mine. I'll just do the stuff. You
Yeah.
do all your editing, right?
I edit some of our like family videos. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Usually the family videos. I have taken a step back recently because I'm trying to focus on Paddle Like a Girl. So yeah.
Does Jim dabble at all with the editing, or is that
Yeah, he edited the
yeah?
last couple. He started off with the editing, and then like he
Okay.
hired an editor, and then I help, and then in a pinch he'll edit the videos.
Okay.
If we don't have time to like mail out the drive and all that stuff.
That's fair. Yeah.
But
Teamwork.
it definitely adds a whole other layer. Like I'm sure if you're, trying to get a piece of work done, kind of the last thing you're probably worried about is filming it perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Which again, not like now that you mention that, I think we started really strong with our filming. Like again, Toon being really passionate about videography, he wanted all our videos to look perfect, especially like we'll say for like the leather channel right now.
Hmm.
He wanted to get all like the crisp angles, the good like ASMR sounds, and we were spending like one full day filming one silly video. And then we're just like, you know what, like people don't care that it's perfect. People just want to see it. So like we're
Hmm.
trying to like refine that and kind of find a new style of filming that's not so crispy clean all the time because Tunis
Right.
won't always be there. I'm gonna have to do
Yeah.
some things on my own. So if it's like a huge contrast from like crispy clean to like holy crap, that's horrible handheld, it's gonna be just like jarring. So we're just
Right.
trying to find that like center new style, I guess I can say, during this little
Yeah.
hiatus we're taking.
Okay. Yeah. Nice little in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard because you don't want to get burnout too, right? Like if you set the expectations so high, then it's
Oh my
like,
gosh.
well, now we need to meet those expectations every time.
Yeah, which I feel like is what we were doing because, like, my gosh, we were listening to podcasts. What's his name?
Oh, is it Gary V?
Yes. Oh my gosh. We used to listen to him all the time. And he's like,
Okay.
you have to post like 5 million times a day, every platform, da da da. And I'm just like, I can't do it. Like, I hate
No.
TikTok. I hate freaking Twitter or whatever it's called now. Just, I don't want
Oh,
to.
yeah. Yeah.
But
You
now,
have to do what works for you.
yeah. Every time I hear his voice now, I'm just like, nah, I can't.
Yeah. No.
It stress me out, man.
Oh my goodness. There's a certain level of like motivational speakers that until you're like, all right, that's just now you're making me feel bad about myself
Mm-hmm.
because you make it sound like it should be so easy and doable for everyone, but I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Not working for me, or I'm trying and still not
Yeah,
working. So,
exactly.
like, is I the issue?
Oh my goodness.
Which I think a lot of people face on YouTube because there's the ones that make it and the ones that don't, and they put the same effort in. Like, it's just luck of the draw sometimes, I think.
It really is. And then it's so discouraging if it doesn't work out.
Oh
And
yeah.
people are just like putting so much time and effort into it. I want to chat a bit about your outdoor adventures. So, what has been your most memorable adventure so far?
I think my most memorable adventure has been probably our first one ever. So we kind of in the early stages when Toon and I are trying to figure out what our thing was going to be. We decided it was going to be backcountry paddling. We decided to go to the furthest place possible to Woodland Caribou and do a week trip there. Bring our dog that has never been in a boat, let alone swim in a lake. And we had decent gear. We had like hiking gear and stuff, but like nothing really like specific to backcountry paddling or whatever.
Okay.
And it was just like wild. I don't know, it was beautiful for one. It was just like I remember turning down the gravel road to get to like the entrance point and you immediately lost service. And I was like, holy crap, like we are on our own for the next week. Like no cell service, nothing. Like if anything goes bad, like what do? We didn't have an inReach. We weren't
Mm-hmm.
there yet to like think of something like
Right.
that. And like the trip was just amazing. Like no hiccups. Everything went well. Sorry, I burnt Tunis's boot, but like that's the only hiccup we had. Everything went super well. It was beautiful. So I think maybe because it was like our intro to what we love doing today, it makes it super memorable. But that one definitely is high on the list. And we also did a trip across Canada. So we spent 2 months just driving across Canada, going all the way Yukon and back. And
Wow.
that was the best time of our lives. Like I want to do it so bad again and carry a trailer so I can go to every antique store and just grab a bunch of stuff. But
Oh, that's such a beautiful way to experience the country, all the way up to the Yukon. Wow,
yeah,
that's
it was
awesome.
awesome. It was a long time, but it was good.
I wanted to ask how would you compare like your hunting trips? Like what would the transition have been like from hunting to your trip in Woodland Caribou? Because I'm sure you had a lot of outdoor experience from your
hmm
hunting trips.
Oh yeah, so a little different because like when we'd go hunting, usually it was like for the week of whatever season we were hunting for. But we never like it was never a huge trip. It was either like my dad bringing his trailer and we'd all cram into the trailer, go on Crown
Okay.
Land. So it was kind of like a little glamping. Or we're
Mm-hmm.
just hunting on like friends' properties. So we never actually had like big excursions where we were hunting. It was just more like local, just like
Okay.
bougie camping.
Yeah, yeah.
So like the transition was pretty big, but like I
Yeah.
did grow up camping as a kid, and like so did Tuna. So like nothing there was new. It was just the fact that like I think the canoeing part was really like the biggest deal for us. The canoeing part and the like out of reach, out of cell service.
Yeah. Okay.
Those were the biggest hurdles because I'd been in a canoe, but I didn't know really how to paddle or whatever. Neither
Okay.
did
I was
Tuna.
gonna
So we just
ask. Yeah.
no, we just figured it out. I still honestly probably don't know how to paddle a canoe because I'm always at the front. Tunis is always at the back. So we just
Okay.
like those are our roles.
Yeah.
We've tried flipping it once, only once, and it was a disaster. It was funny because I guess like the way you disperse the weight in your canoe matters to a certain
Mm-hmm.
extent with how you paddle. So we had put all the weight at the front of the canoe with me because Tunis is so much heavier than me. And then we just decided to switch spots. So it was all the weight in the front of the
Oh
canoe
boy.
with Tunis and then me. So I was like teetering up
Yeah.
here and Tunis was down there. And it was just, we were going, like we were slingshotting in circles. It was
Oh my
an
goodness.
embarrassment. Yeah.
not the best way to start in Stern, because then you're just like so discouraged. I can't do this. So
Yeah. I think I need to take a course.
well, I maybe you can join a workshop.
Yeah, I
That would
might.
be really fun.
Mhm.
So are there any outdoor experiences? Well, I mean, now we just kind of chatted about it, but are there any outdoor experiences or skills that you're currently working on or want to try?
So I guess a skill that I probably would want to work on is being a little more self-sufficient. So I
Okay.
do rely on Tunis for a lot of things because we always go camping together. So it would be
Uh-huh.
nice to maybe just know how to do everything solely on my own. Because I find
Hmm.
like when we do go camping, we get to camp. Tunis is firewood. I do camp chores. Like it's just like so automatic that we do our
Right.
tasks. So I feel like doing it maybe more on my own that I have to figure out how to do everything in a
Yeah.
good time. So probably that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I always like, I mean, I've never gone like totally by myself because I'm afraid of bears and nighttime. But but I always say like going solo with someone, like the solo but not alone trips.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
highly recommend.
I've done solo twice,
Okay.
but it was in the winter, so I feel like I just don't like you're not scared of bears in the winter. Nothing's
Right.
coming after you, so it was a little easier and it was super mild. Like the temperatures were like fantastic. So it wasn't like I was surviving out there. I was thriving. But
Yeah.
did I sleep? No. Like it was still like miserable by myself because I think I enjoy being with someone. I enjoy
Yeah.
sharing that experience with someone else.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's why I really enjoy the solo but not alone. Like I feel like I might try like a one night overnight solo, but for more than that, I feel like I would want somebody there with me, like
Yeah.
just to share in the
Yeah,
experience
it's
and
funner that way. I know I could, but I just don't want to.
right, exactly.
So excited because like I watch your videos and like I love how you guys it's a whole family affair. Like I love that. Like I can't wait to like incorporate like kids into this plan one day. Like I just want to like
Mhm.
show them the outdoors where I find like
Yeah,
I was exposed to the outdoors as a kid but not to like the extent I am today. So I just want to be
right.
able to expose them to that so then when they become their own person, they can take it a step further if they wanted to. Like just
Hmm.
give them a little edge that I didn't have.
Right.
See what they
Yeah,
would
like
end up
you
doing.
kind of wonder like how where would you be if you had been exposed to it from a younger age
Yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely takes a lot of like planning and stuff and adds a little more stress, but definitely a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, looks like
yeah.
it.
Yeah. What do you have any dream trips or expeditions that you're or like locations that you'd like to go to?
There's places we'd like to go. We haven't like whipped out any maps about it yet. Well,
Hmm.
yes and no. Like we've looked at maps, but we haven't like figured out any routes or whatever. But we've had Northwest Territories on our minds for a really long time.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly where, but like we definitely want to do something up there.
Okay.
And I also just really want to do, which is completely like not backcountry, but just like a fishing trip. So me and Tuna have
Hmm.
really got into fly fishing because like why not add another thing to do? But I just want to do like a fly fishing trip where we just drive to location and just like do a couple nights at different places and make it like I don't know, just go into the states and do it or another cross Canada
Yeah.
trip and just like stop at various places and spend 2 3 nights walking up a creek, coming back, going to the next one. I don't know,
Yeah.
just like some comfort mixed with like discomfort.
Yeah. That
Mhm.
sounds beautiful.
Mhm.
There's something so beautiful about fly fishing. Have you perfected it? Like how
No.
long have you been doing it?
We've only started like 2 3 years ago and like we're not like doing it all the time, but
Okay.
I'm like Toon's gotten the hang of it, but not I'm not that great. I try, but it takes a lot of work. Like it is an art to be able to do it
Hmm.
properly. But
Yeah.
it's just fun because you're not just sitting there with a rod, like you're actively doing something. Which
Yeah,
is
and it feels really like you do need to learn a skill versus,
throwing a
casting in.
rod.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Cool. And then what advice would you have for women who are looking to pursue a more adventurous lifestyle?
Ooh, just do it. If you have an interest, like I think you just gotta do it. Watch
Hmm.
YouTube videos, try to get build up a little bit of confidence, and just take baby steps and get out there. It's kind of the best thing I could give.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great advice. Just do it.
Just do it.
Um,
Thank you.
and so, what is next for Freak of Nature Co? Any exciting projects or collaborations?
Ooh, I do have a few collaborations. Like on the leather side of stuff, I have some collaborations, which was thanks to the Hamilton show.
Oh,
She
cool.
they just positioned us so perfectly. I had like a blacksmith, I guess, a knife maker right beside me. So and he was talking about how much he hates making sheaths for his knives. So I was like, oh, like so I'm gonna be making him a batch of sheaths for a specific one of his knives, one of
Oh,
his
that's
like better
perfect.
sellers. And then I have another collaboration with Camp Kitchen, collaborating with the knife maker. So we kind of have like a three-way collaboration going. So yeah, it's fun. It's
That's really
just
cool.
opened a few doors for us there.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like
Mhm.
you were positioned perfectly for some
Yeah,
good networking.
yeah, it was fun.
Camp Kitchen, they're doing some cool stuff too.
Yeah, they are. They were fun to me. It was the first time I met them in person. It was a good
Oh,
gang of people
they're
this year.
so nice. Yeah, so awesome. So, where can people buy your leather work?
So I do have a website. It is www.freakofnatureco.com. I've actually recently just uploaded a bunch of new stuff up on it. So yeah, people can go check that out. It would be awesome.
Perfect.
And everything I sell is mostly on my Instagram, which is Miss Freak of Nature. So yeah, those are the two places.
Okay, I'll be sure to add that to our description so people can easily find you and
Thank you.
go buy some leather. Follow and buy.
Yes, that would be magnificent.
And then I do have these like rapid fire questions that I like to do at the
Ooh,
end.
heck
They're
yeah.
not like deep or anything, just like quick, one word answer, whatever you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
Um, and only five. Okay. What is your favorite tripping season?
Spring.
Spring. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fishing.
okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. I have seen some really beautiful and delicious looking meals that you've made out in the backcountry. What is your go to camp meal?
Ooh, that's a tricky one because I feel like we always try to do something different. Like we always try to like level up our last meal or something.
Hmm.
Oh, I know what it is. We made Philly cheesesteaks, kind of, sort of.
Oh.
It was so good. We talk about it still to this day that it's been like because I made the pitas from scratch when I was outside,
Wow.
like outside when we were at our campsite. So it was
Yeah,
just like the fresh bread, delicious meat, Philly
that sounds
cheesesteak.
delicious. Is that like recorded somewhere? Can I watch that
It
video?
is. It's one of our
Okay.
videos. I forget which
I'll look
one, but
for it.
it's definitely in there.
Okay. What is one piece of gear that you can't live without? Meaning like kind of a luxury item, not your necessities.
Hmm. I know. My glasses holders. Because I don't
Okay.
wear contacts, I have my glasses on all the time, so I have the little attachment that goes around my neck. It
Yeah.
has saved my glasses more than once. Probably that
Okay.
little luxury item.
Yeah, for sure. I would say so. What is your I think I already asked you this actually. What is your favorite item to make?
Favorite item to make. You know what? I'm gonna say right now, guitar straps. No, no,
Oh,
hunting like gunslings.
gunslings.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, thank you so much. It was really nice to chat with you. I hope that we get to chat again soon. Maybe we can plan a camping trip or something. That would be
Yes,
nice.
that would be nice. Thanks so much for having me on this podcast. I feel
Yeah.
honored.
Yeah, no, it was really nice to chat with you. Thank you for taking the time. And I'm going to, of course, follow along on your leather making adventure and all your beautiful videos. And we'll get everyone to follow you there as well. We'll chat soon.
Awesome. Thanks so much.